Yo, what's going on, everybody? So this is actually very surprising. And I mean by that is because I was thinking that this was going to come out at least next week, but instead they went ahead and dropped this today. So this is patch 4.2 Shadows of Change for Kislev Part 3, of course. So again, they're back with Part 3. So we're going to go ahead and head on into this. So what they said here is Kislev 8th Edition lore and IP. If you like me, you grew up with Warhammer and been a longtime fan, seeing Kislev given new characters and units at the launch of Total War Warhammer 3 was a special moment. Likewise, with the additions of Mother Ostankia, Hag Witches, and other units in Shadows Change, this new uncharted ground for the faction was one that we worked closely with Games Workshop on. From before the release of Total War Warhammer 3 through the development of Shadows Change, Games Workshop took us through their various design concepts and deep dives into new and updated lore that they had created for Kislev. Like with many other things in life, this has been out with the old and with the new. Mother Ostankia is a good example of this. She is Kislev's only true hag mother in the new and current lore that our game is based on. She is very much her own unique character with her own motives, desires, and magical items and history. This is why you see her charge into battle atop her sled, pulled by the things in the woods with their cauldron, her cauldron. Rather than more direct references to real-world mythology, this new take, like with all other editions of Kislev, is what makes them exciting and brings them in line with the other races in the 8th edition and Games Workshop lore. The same is true of other parts of past Kislev lore. The distinct Ungol and Gothborder split within Kislev is something that is no longer at the forefront of Kislevite lore. Instead, taking a back seat to allow us to tell new stories with the faction, there are still nods to this. The horse archers already in game, for example, but there won't be more implemented into our game now or moving forwards. You could think of Kislev in a similar way to the books and resources that we use from Games Workshop. In making our game, we focus on newest army books, 8th edition, or as close to as possible, and miniatures rather than adding things from early editions. RPG books, old miniatures, or peripheral novels and supplements that no longer embody the core nature of the character, race, environment, etc. By doing this, we ensure that we are showing you the most authentic version of the Warhammer world possible. I hope this explains much of our thinking, how we go about things, and how we look to best represent the most current version of the lore in our game. So now let's get to it and run you through the changes that are coming to Kislev as a patch 4.2. All right, I'm feeling it. I'm liking the energy through this text here. There's a lot of energy here. I think I need to first address the elephant in the room when it comes to Kislev and the content that was offered at the launch of Shadows Change, and what wasn't the lack of the new spell lore for Mother Ostankia and omission of Hag Mothers as a generic lore type. I'll start with the spell lore that we're adding to patch 4.2 for both Mother Ostankia and her Hag Witches to make full use of. The lore of the Hag will be comprised of 6 new spells and a lore attribute focused on both hexing enemy units and overcasting to bless your own. I'll go into more detail on what each spell does in the section below. Coming back to the Hag Mothers now. As previously mentioned, there's only one Hag Mother in the current lore of Kislev as told by Games Workshop, and this is Mother Ostankia herself. This lore is very new, as is Mother Ostankia herself in the IP. So I want to inform you as best as I can to share with you who she is and how she aids Kislev and why there are no other Hag Mothers in lore or in our game. Mother Ostankia is a character of great importance to the Kislevites, acting as a guardian of the land in times of great peril, but also to be wary of and not cross the void to avoid her wrath. It is her magic that is wielded in battle both by herself and her Hag Witches, and her unstoppable force that brings both men and nature to fight for her cause and that of Kislev's. With the exception of Mother Ostankia and a few other hags of Kislev are not generals. They have no interest in leading armies themselves. Instead, they help enact Mother Ostankia's will through aiding Kislev's other leaders and their forces. With this new lore in mind and staying as close and true to it, we needed to look for other generic lore options for Kislev to field instead of Hag Mothers. I think we came up with a good option thanks to Games Workshop's help and guidance, the Druzina. More on him later. Let's first take a look at the lore of the Hag, as I promised you, and show you what fun new tricks Mother Ostankia has at her disposal. So, Available to both the Stonka and Hag Witches, the Lore of the Hag features 6 new spells and a new spell attribute. The lore is focused primarily on disrupting and hexing enemy units, but with a twist, as when overcasting these spells, they become augments that you can use on your own forces. This complements Mother Stunka's campaign mechanics of curses and blessings to provide more ways to play with this unique character in battle. So the first one here is called The Fate of the Interlopers. It's an area of hexes. So curse, minor decreases of leadership, and blessing increased spell resistance. The second one here, from what it looks like here, is the Forbidden Fins. The Forbidden Fins, it's a area effect hex, negatively affects enemy speed, charge speed, and vigor. So that's something that you would probably use on cavalry or maybe even infantry. And also for the blessings here, Whisper in the Woods, it's a area augments, positively affects ally speed, charge bonus, and vigor, whilst granting Strider and Unstoppable. So this is two, basically the opposite. And then we have Witch Brew, and as you see here, they have animation showcase what they look like here. So Witch Brew damages units in its path and applies poison contact effect. The Blessing, Witch Broth, damages units in its path, applies a contact effect of friendly units, which heals them, boosts their vigor, and making them immune to enemy contact effects. Then we have one that's called Curse of the Ancient Witch. This one here, the Curse of the Ancient Witch, negatively affects enemy missiles, block chance, armor, and will spread to nearby enemies within the spell's spread range. Blessing of the Ancient Witch imbues magical attacks, possibly enhances armor piercing missile damage based on missile damage and reload skill. So it's something that you want to throw onto your archers. So Vengeance of Spirits. Vengeance of Spirits damages enemies within the radius and applies the Silence attribute, which stops affected units from being able to use abilities or cast spells. Something that you want to use on a lord or a hero. Then you have Area Augments, enhances the flow when once a magic favor of yours or allies, spellcasters, dealing damage in the process. Then we have Curse Cauldron. A static central vortex fires out projectiles that spawn smaller moving vortexes upon impact. So that's actually really cool right there. I like that ability there. Then you have the Blessed Cauldron. The same as above, but this vortex no longer harms friendly units that are caught in the vortex area effects. Then we have the last one here, Malediction of Madness. Negatively affects enemies' base weapon damage, armor piercing, weapon damage, and melee attack, and inflicts rampage. Now, the vice versa of it is increases base weapon damage, armor piercing weapon damage, melee attack, and also inflicts rampage. Now, Druzina, this is the Lord. Druzina is a champion, is a character steeped in Kislev's lore, a lesser noble that lives beyond the walls of Kislev's great cities and tends to its own lands and his people. Ever ready to serve the Tsar or Tsarina, the Druzina are well connected to the nature that surrounds them and brings them to war items that have been handed down generation by generation. They will act as a great addition to Kislev's roster, bridging the gap that we had between Boyars and that of Mother Stonka, who had to lead her armies. Okay, so it looks like they're definitely going to be a hybrid unit. The designs are actually pretty cool. I'll let you guys take a look at this here once more. So its game overview is, despite being a faction of hybrid units, Kislev lacks a truly hybrid lore type character to sit in between melee focused Boyar and magic focused Witch or Ice Witch. The Druzina subscribes to this playstyle by supporting missile lines with his abilities whilst holding his own in melee with a powerful armor piercing great weapon. So again, he's hybrid, is able to deal significant single target damage with his bow and able to deal more armor piercing damage with his axe and melee. Missile unit enhancements. Units near Druzina will benefit from increased missile stats, so you want to have him in your archer group. In your group of Archer Ball. Then you have ammo replenishment. Druzina is the only unit in Kis's roster that can replenish used up ammo for friendly units, making him an effective support character for Kislevite missiles. So then we have a hero here. Oh yeah, by the way, before that, Druzina does get a mount, which is a warhorse. So now we're going on to the Golden Knight of Nariski Liza. Hopefully that's the right. I probably butchered it, so I apologize. It's on offer in Shadows Change, meant us looking for a character to join Kislev's ranks. The Golden Knight is a champion of the Ice Queen. This is a honorary rank bestowed to the greatest warrior among the Druzina, or occasionally in history the Boyars or even the common soldiery. Nariska is the daughter of the previous Golden Knight who died at the side of Tsar Boris. Sad. As a girl, Nariska learned swordcraft from her father, owning her skills as a warrior from the finest in the realm. Though she was derided by her peers, she stood forward as a candidate as the guardian of the Tsarina when the Druzina elected her her father's successor. Noriska is tall and powerfully built, the physical equal of any mighty warrior. Her greatest attribute is her determination, such is her drive that she trains longer and more intensely than any other. And in battle, she fights with fury-born stubborn pride. In Kislev, she is unmatched in combat. Every soldier knight is consecrated by the cult of Urson, and so Noriska bears both religious ornamentation and the favor of the Ice Court. In this way, she unifies the divided church and state. So, looking at her design here, looks actually fairly amazing. I do like the design. It's a really nice, pretty cool design. It's heavy armor. She looks like she's wearing, and maneuverability. It looks like it's gonna be tough, but hey, I'm with it though. So, gameplay overview: the Golden Knight is heavily armored guardian hero with a focus on protecting friendly characters and buffing the resolve of her comrades nearby. Wearing a full suit of armor and wearing the powerful magical sword Urson's Claw, she is a bulwark which a foe will have difficulty overcoming. So, bodyguard: the Golden Knight is an exceptional protector using her defensive abilities and stats to increase the durability of nearby friendly lords and heroes. Inspiration: the more damage sustained by the Golden Knight, the more determined surrounding friendly units become to fight on. Oh. Duelist: the Golden Knight's durability and powerful sword allows her to go toe-to-toe with melee lords and heroes, and she gets the mount of Warhorse. So, Kislev Warriors, we come to better understand that not every unit in the DLC needs to be a centerpiece monster and headed in the other direction with this new unit, plugging a much-needed lower-tier infantry gap. The Kislev Warriors, armed with their halberds, are Tier 1 troops that are decent at withstanding a charge and bound by their blood and will fight to the bitter end for Kislev. We take inspiration in their design from older Mordheim miniatures, just like the Druzina, in creating something with much closer feel and look to the land and woods that Mother Stonkia protects. Okay, Tier 1 units, pretty cool. I like that. So the gameplay overview, of course: cheap Kislev Warriors are the cheapest true melee unit of Kislev roster, making them a great pick in the early game. Anti-large Kislev Warriors wield halberds, so that they're anti-large, and also the frontline troops with more enemies than any other Kislev infantry unit. These Kislev Warriors serve as a decent screen for your missile unit, which is quite nice, because Kislev did need this, though. You didn't need like a unit that could tank a couple hits before you bring your Tier 2s or Tier 3s. So, the Frostworm unit and mount. You may recognize this name if you have ever ventured into Norska or played a campaign of theirs. Now called the Chaos Frost Dragon. The Norska unit is very different to Kislev's true Frostworm, a hulking, flightless beast, deadly in combat with its massive jawed fangs, cycling claws, and a vicious, lashing tail. The Frostworm acts as both an individual unit or a mount for Katarina and her ice witches. Oh, that's badass. So it doesn't have any wings, but it's a straight up, literally, land worm / dragon. That's actually fucking amazing. Well, worm is dragon in a sense. The Frostworm is a deadly mid-tier monster which can move its way across the battlefield relatively quickly. For a monster of its size, with the large end of the roster getting particularly crowded, the Frostworm's power level is comparable to that of a Dark Elf War Hydra, or the Stega God of the Lizardmen. This enables it to really stand out on its own as a unique pick when compared to the Elemental Bear or Incarnate Elemental Beast. So it's fast. The Frostworm is a fast creature of its size, which enables it to maneuver into position quicker than most. It has Frostbite. The Frostworm utilizes the Frostbite contact effect, slowing enemies that it attacks, and it, of course, is a mount for Katarina or other ice witches or whatnot. I wonder if it's also used as a temp mount as well. So then we have the Ice Court Sled mount for ELC. Pretty cool. Basically, it's a sled mount. So a sled mount, like the wind pulled by 6 of the finest steeds in Kislev has to offer. The Ice Court Sled, it's the quickest way for the Katarina to move around. This feels like, I don't know, I'm gonna be so weird for this. I mean, I understand that they talk a lot about Mother Stonkia and stuff, but I feel like this is more like, it's really weird. I feel like it's more like, hey guys, Kislev, Katarina, or Zarina, I mean, this is a lot of shit for her. But, we were talking about Mother Stonkia. I don't know. This is called the Shadows of Change, not Kislev. I don't know. Y'all know what I mean. But, I will say this, it is great additions that we are getting back to this DLC to actually make it worth the $24 that they originally charged for the DLC. I still wish that they would lock both Mother Stonkia's units and Kislev's units, lock them together. So, you have to do, because I already know how to travel across the world to get Mother Stonkia's units. Like Mother Stonkia has to, you know, use her abilities in order to transport to different woods and stuff. That's what I think that needs to happen, in my opinion. But y'all definitely let me know. So as you guys see here, they have like a little slider here to basically show us like what DLC, like what the game was like before, you know, with the original release, Shadows Change. So as you see here, right? Look at the left side here. The left side shows everything has been added. Now here we go with the right side here. Boom. So they did make it worthwhile, and I will give them that. I will give them that. So, you know, props needed where it's due. All right. So that's it for now. Thank you for your support, ongoing support, feedback, team, and are super excited for the future. And we'll be able to we'll be talking to you more on what's next, and not for this future. So they're talking about the Thrones of Decay DLC that's coming out as well. So with that said, y'all, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about everything that they added into Shadows Change. Do you guys finally think that it's worth for Total War Warhammer 3 fans? So let me know. Thank you guys for taking the time to watch the video. If you guys enjoyed, consider liking, subscribing, hit the notification bell down below for more future posts like this. And also, if you guys want to, consider becoming a patron or a channel member to support my channel even further. But you guys have a great one. Peace out. Wish celebrity. Bye. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like and also hit the bell notification down below. Thanks for watching.